Stephen, I wanted to get you to weigh on this. Europe's fertility crisis. We're seeing a massive decrease with regards to the birth rates per woman in Europe. Is this basically like the fall of Rome sort of stuff we're looking at here?
Absolutely. I mean, someone once, about 4 weeks ago, someone asked me, what is the biggest crisis facing the West? And straight away, the fertility crisis. We are just not having enough children. And the thing is, it's all well and good to whinge about excessive levels of immigration. But if you are not reproducing yourselves, then the economy is going to shrink and shrink and shrink, and it's going to cease to be functional. And so, you know, it's partly our own fault that we're having to rely so much on immigration. I think there are other reasons for the immigration, but absolutely, this is a trend that really starts to kick into sort of hyperdrive from the 1960s onwards, particularly with the introduction of the pill in around about 1960. And the trend has just gotten worse and worse. And it's hard to think of there would be one or two, but it's hard to think of a single prosperous Western country that is at population replacement rate in terms of fertility. And there are people who've been trying to figure out what the causes are. There are probably multiple causes, but the pretty obvious sort of efficient cause is the introduction of the pill in 1960, and then just the social changes brought about by sort of women going into the workforce, delaying children. The longer you delay children tends to be the fewer children you have. Women are now being educated much more than they were in the past. And I remember reading one book by a guy named David Goldberg, and he said all the data points to the fact that the more women become educated, the fewer kids they have. And that's not me arguing that we should stop educating women. So please don't misconstrue me in that way.
Well, you'd have a friend in the Taliban.
Oh, well, you know, my old mate, yeah, the Taliban, yeah. No, I do think it's actually the single biggest crisis facing the West, and no one really has a solution. And it's also driven just by the cost of living as well, but really no one has a solution. Obviously, Viktor Orban in Hungary, their plan is if you have 4 kids, I think it is, you don't pay income tax. You don't pay any. Look, I think that's a great idea. Whether it works or not, I can see some
people coming
activity
off the,
here.
Yeah, coming off the plane. Yeah, guys, we're keeping a close eye on this. Everyone's obviously eager to...
Well, Assange was doing his bit in lockdown. He had 2 kids.
He did.
So,
He's
doing his,
we do have a fertility issue as well from a physical perspective. There is an infertility growth, whether it's from the chemical use or whatever it is that's going on with our bodies. Yes, we are having kids later, and I think IVF is the biggest growing industry, particularly in the Western world. But we definitely have to look at what we are using. Oh, we have got...
Here we go.
Wow.
Oh, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Julian Assange has touched base.
Let's see who he's going to go talk to. I don't know who that
Who is
I don't
that?
know who that guy is. They look like some
we at some
airline pilot or something.
if they start doing a press conference sort of thing, we might have to unmute this so we can actually hear what's obviously being said. Is that his wife or
No.
I was going to say I can't actually remember his wife, but supposedly they met in the embassy. It's how they found love. Guys, if you're sharing this right now, please do. This is the moment we're waiting for. I do believe Anthony Albanese will be doing a press conference, probably with Julian. But, yeah, we'll see. You know what politicians are like. They love to make hay while the sun shines.
Do I see a few tears at the bottom right there, that journalist commentator?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are
Yeah, he
dealing
is.
ABC.
ABC,
We've got to be in touch with our feelings.
Yeah.
Thank you, the ABC.
No, I think I'm. There's.
Yeah, looks like I reckon there's more processing that's going to be done. But
I think I actually might be wrong. That might be the main terminal there at Canberra Airport.
right.
Wrong before. Yeah.
Actually, no. I think I just saw the defence logo behind.
Is that his wife?
Oh, that's cute.
I think that might be one of
No.
the kids.
It's very cute. He's back.
No, I think it's probably his
I'd
wife.
say that'd be his wife.
Would be his wife.
Oh, it's his dad.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
That is
That's
beautiful.
gorgeous. That man has waited a long time. Craig, as Craig alluded earlier, there was Craig met John Shipton the other day.
I met him
a year ago.
about a year or so ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Very decent man that had great love for his son. And, you know, I said, irrespective of what you think of Assange, you've got to give some credit to his dad. His dad kept on fighting and kept on, you know, raising things. And remember, his dad did like displays of how he was kept in captivity in New York, and his dad never stopped fighting for him. So.
Well, his dad and the brother were responsible for trying to get this film off the ground, The Trust Fall. They helped tremendously. Yeah.
We'll just keep watching this for a little second. We are still trying to work out exactly what is the go. I'd presume there's still going to be a little bit of processing and before they allow them to go before the cameras and do some kind of a press conference. But I just remembered the fact that we actually interviewed Julian's brother back in 2021 as a Turning Point Australia interview. There's a lot of people out there that have been working really hard to support the Assanges. They've been doing dedicated rallies. People that aren't Aussies. They're not Aussies. They have no reason, other than the fact that they're dedicated to truth and the pursuit of truth and getting, you know, holding the government to a little bit more of an account than they have been. It's quite astonishing images, guys, we're seeing here. It's good to see that his kids aren't there. I don't think, you know, me personally, if I was to have kids one day, I definitely would, and I was a public person like that, I definitely want to protect them. Craig, you know what that kind of
obviously you want to have a bit of private time as well, sort of thing. In that
well, they shouldn't be in the mainstream media at all.
It'll be interesting to see how vocal and active he'll be now if he stays in Australia. I assume he will, and what the impact he's going to have now on Australian culture, sort of going forward,
and Australian politics as well.
Yeah. This could be something of a game changer. This is definitely an epochal moment in Australian history.
Yeah, if he started, I mean, just put this out there for a second. I'm not saying he should, but if he were to say, I'm going to run and I'm going to start a party from scratch, and he had the right people putting that together and whatever, like that would be, like, we're talking assassination stuff, so surely, like, the intelligence agencies wouldn't want to see that at all.
No,
and
but that'd be fascinating.
It's not that easy to start a new party and to strip voters away from their Labor and Liberal roots, sort of thing. It's not that. It's not that. But it'll be interesting to see. Like, he'll obviously want to have some commentary on politics. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what he's got to say and what avenues he takes.
Yes, he'd be much more powerful just as a spokesperson rather than constrained by just the necessities of political reality, having to conform to constituencies and
kind of like Joel.
Exactly.
Don't say that. They'll reprioritize their priorities.
Oh, just getting back, you can, to the fertility issue.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
firstly, it is a huge issue. But one thing, our migration rate at the moment is well in excess. We're still have a natural increase in population, but we're having a huge increase in the real big increase in population in Australia is about 2.5%, which takes us to levels that we didn't have till back after the Second World War. Is because of the rate of migration. Now, that migration pushes up housing prices, which is one of the reasons, I think, why so many couples are putting off having kids, because they simply can't afford it and to live in a house in the city. I think that's one reason.
Yes.
So, and the numbers that I saw, had some numbers up there early. I saw some numbers, I think we're down to like 1.58 or 1.57. And a lot of this decrease, yes, it's been trending down, but since the rollout of the COVID injections, there's been a massive decrease around the world of fertility rates in every single highly vaccinated country. And that has to be some concern.
Right. Isn't that interesting?
The numbers
Absolutely. There's been studies. There's studies that have come out that have actually stated that, and that's really disturbing because that's just perpetuating what we've already had.
Now, this is what we're very concerned about. The effect of that COVID vaccine on pregnant women. We've seen the recent case in the US. We've got now 5 US state attorney generals suing Pfizer because they're saying they misled pregnant women about the risks.
Forcing women to take those vaccines, in my opinion, was the singular most despicable thing that took place during the whole 3 years.
You know, the history.
I could not believe that.
The history that we had with thalidomide and and when the long-term safety data was not known, and it is still not.
It's beyond
known.
belief because at the end of the day, in the Pfizer trial, and I'm going to state this, in the Pfizer trial, it's stated for men that if anyone was going to get this particular vaccination, they are not to impregnate anybody for 6 months.
Right.
And that's from the Pfizer trial.
Actually, in that Pfizer trial, they did a test on rats called the Wistar rats, right? And they had the vaccinated group and they had the unvaccinated group of rats. The miscarriages in the vaccinated group were double the number. And what they said, oh, that really doesn't matter because it's within the historical range that we'd expect.
Yeah.
Why have the placebo group? Why have a control group if that they just brushed it off, didn't investigate it anymore? It was an absolute outrage and a disgrace. But just also getting back to fertility, what can we do about it? We have to tackle this problem. Right? I think we have to look at it through our taxation system, doing what Hungary did. I think that we've got to look at income splitting.
Yes.
You know, a family, you know, where you've got to encourage the family to stay together, give them some. Here's our.
Sorry, guys. Anthony Albanese giving a statement. If you don't mind, just
He'll be
bottom left.
For Mr. Assange's case to be concluded.
It's okay.